Hey everybody, welcome to episode 71, I think, of the Fine Barista Files. Today is Pi Day, Wednesday, March 14th. Alright everybody, it's been another week. It's been a long, busy week. Why don't we get right into it and hopefully keep things moving right along this week. Novel concept. I told you last week that this past weekend was the drama competition at the high school that I work at. The competition wasn't at my high school, but my high school students had their competition this weekend. It was at a high school here on the coast. It was Friday and Saturday. So Friday we left at 2:30 in the afternoon, and there was evening performances, but we also had a chance to do our tech check on Friday. Run through the play, check the lighting, check make sure everything was ready and what it needed to be and all that. And saw 3 of the plays. And then we were supposed to leave at 10 minutes of 11, only the bus wasn't there. And of course, I don't have the bus driver's phone number. All I have are the custodian and our school's phone numbers to sort of deal with the busing situation. And a couple weeks ago, I had filled out the bus request form saying, I needed a bus. And when I checked on the list, because I hadn't heard anything, they were like, oh yeah, that's not on our list. So then I had to orally fill it out via the phone with some guy named Morris and get that all squared away. And he promised me it was squared away. When the bus came to pick us up to bring us to the competition, we had the short bus, which is fine. I don't have any social stigma attached to the short bus, but we didn't have room for the kids and the props because we had all of our props and everything else as well. So it was quite a cluster, but we got everything there. The guy assures us, and I triple checked. I'm like, you're sure the bus is going to be here to pick us up at 10 minutes of 10? He's like, yeah, let him know. It was 11, almost 11:30 when the bus came for us, because the bus driver who was picking us up was not the one who dropped us off, and she had been told after midnight. Thank God she came early. I was mad. God, I was mad. We waited out in the cold forever. Eventually, we did go back out in the building, but we just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And she'd be given false information for Saturday as well, so I fixed that. But anyway, kids had a good time. That's what's important. They're very social. That's also what's important. We have a small school, so to have that many kids that are like-minded all in one area was really good for them. And the performances we saw that evening were pretty good. One was very controversial. There was a lot of language. There's a rape scene. There's a murder. I didn't feel like the subject matter was important enough to warrant that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not scandal, but I don't think the shock value was worth it. I was very uncomfortable. I couldn't imagine forcing a kid to use that kind of language. I couldn't imagine forcing a kid to act out a rape on another student. I don't. Whatever. They didn't win, so that's all that mattered to me. But there were a couple there that weekend that were dealt with issues in language and things that I just wouldn't do that to kids. But anyway, I'm neither here nor there. Anyway, so Saturday, my husband was bringing me there and picking me up Saturday so that I didn't have to ride the bus. I had some other things. He was going to pick up pizza for us at dinner time and some other stuff. So at 7:30, I rolled into the high school to make sure that the bus was there, the kids were there, and the other teacher was there, and the chaperone was there. And everyone was there, but as I was texting my co-director, I was looking at my phone, my keyboard, and I couldn't see the exclamation point. And I kept blinking and going, where's the exclamation point? I know it's there. I just couldn't see it. Looked at my husband and went, I'm getting a migraine. Migraines are bad news if you're me. Very, very bad news. I lose my vision. I lose, parts of my body go numb. Can be my hand, can be my face, can be, things just go all pins and needles. And then these are both followed by nauseating levels of pain. Literally nauseating. I throw up. The pain is so bad. Horribly inconvenient. I was just about to spend the entire day at the drama competition. Really? Right now, headache? You have to do it now? Really? So my husband was like, take whatever pain meds you got. All I had were some, it's a C2, but I had a prescription pain reliever that I took 2 of. It's not usually prescribed for migraines, but it was a painkiller, and that was what I had. And I don't have any of my prescription migraine meds anymore. I get like 1 a year, so they're all expired. So anyway, I laid back in the seat in the car, and he drove me there. And I just prayed that it would go away, and it just didn't. And it just kept getting worse. And my brain started to tighten up. And there's a spot right past the first little biggie, like there's a bony area here, and then it kind of dips down right here. And right there, I could just feel the screws tightening, and it was just getting worse. And it was crawling all the way down the back of my head into my neck. And I was laying on the floor in the room where we were staying with all the kids, and the kids were quiet, and I just couldn't. And I felt like I was going to be sick, and I was like, F this. As soon as the kids went to their workshops, I called my husband as I was going to the bathroom and said, you need to come back and get me. I need to go to the hospital. If you don't have pain meds, the only way to get relief from a migraine is to go to the hospital and ask for pain meds, which I hate doing, but what was I going to do? The performance wasn't until 7, and the winners weren't even going to be announced until midnight. So there was nothing I could do. I needed to get my pain figured out, my pain managed. So we go to the hospital, which thankfully is only like 6 miles down the road. They saw me immediately. They put me in a room. They turned the light off. They gave me oxygen, which I hadn't even heard of was a treatment for migraines, but they gave me oxygen. They gave me a bag of saline, which took them 3 different places to inject. They couldn't get it in my right arm or my right wrist, and eventually they did get it in my left arm using a big, huge, fat needle. Put the pain meds in, put the anti-nausea meds in, and said, go to sleep. We'll check on you in an hour. And it totally saved my bacon. I left, I was still in pain, and I was wicked groggy. The anti-nausea med knocks me out completely, but also, if you've had a migraine, you're very familiar with that headache hangover feel when you're just kind of like, oh, I don't know what's going on, stop looking at me, kind of thing. I left the drama area at 9:30 in the morning. I left the school with my husband to go to the hospital, and I think I got back around 1 or 1:30. The kids were at the afternoon performances, which were at 12, 1, and 2. So they got back about 3 o'clock, and by that time I had a lot better under control. It was stable. I was not feeling like I was going to kill myself or other people, and it was good. So, excuse me. Definitely the right decision to go to the hospital, but I know what it looks like to go to a hospital and ask for pain meds. Like, I'm familiar, so it always makes me uncomfortable to do that. Anyway, so that was Saturday. My kids performed at 7. They were fantastic. They performed better than they had in any of the rehearsals. They really did a phenomenal job. We didn't place, the only 2 positions that you know about are the top 2, and we didn't get in the top 2, but the 2 schools that did really deserved to be in there. They were really a cut above. So I was pleased with that. We got a lot of good feedback. The crowd loved my kids' show. There were a lot of the kids' plays got occasional bouts of audience response, the laughter or shocking or applause or something. But our play was the only one that got consistent applause all the way through, and laughter, and everybody, they were hitting the cues. It was just great. So I was very, very pleased. We got back Sunday morning at about 1 o'clock in the morning, threw everything in my classroom, shut the lights back off at the school, locked the door, and went home. I did not stick around to see. I know. I just went home, went to bed. Of course, that was the night that the time changed, so technically we got home at, 2? Because of the loss of the hour, daylight savings time. But it didn't matter. I crawled into bed and fell asleep and slept for a solid 8 hours, and then I took a 2-hour nap that afternoon. I was still dealing with the after effects of the headache, and I was just exhausted. Utterly exhausted. It was so worth it, but I was so tired. Needless to say, I didn't get any business, anything done. I'm still behind. I still have emails to respond to. I'm working on it, but I'm doing the best I can. I don't bounce back from stuff like that like I used to. So, and the kids, I should say also, our light crew and one of the actors, the two-member light crew and one of the smaller parts, they're three guys that get along well together. They went and participated in the Techie Olympics, which is like a series of tech-based crafts. You had to build a box, you had to tie some knots in a rope, you had to extend a tape measure up as high as you could without it bending over, and our kids won. So they won the 2012 Golden Wrench Award, which is, I guess, a big deal. So they did a great job. They totally made us think that they didn't make it, but they did, and it's really good. I was really proud of them. So we have a trophy to bring home. We'll do better next year. We're gonna do more next year. You'll see. See how it goes. So anyway, there's that. Monday, Tuesday, and today are pretty regular school days. Nothing major. Yesterday, my sophomores had a field trip to local college. So after second period, I didn't have anybody. I had one kid after second period. He was a junior. The rest were all sophomores, and so I had 4 periods straight of nothing. It's fantastic. I got my room picked up. I got things organized. So good. They're going again next Tuesday to a different college, and I'm totally going to catch up on my grading. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm ready. It's sad to be so happy to have a break from the kids, but there's just no time during the day to get anything done. So it's nice to be able to get stuff done sort of unexpected times. So yeah. I'm going home to the mountains this weekend. I really want to go home. I haven't been home in 3 weeks. At the same time, they still have a foot of snow in the mountains, and we haven't had snow in 2 weeks. It was 60 something here the other day. It was great. So great. We'll see. Maybe I'll bring the warm weather up to the mountains with me. I don't want to go back to snow. I really don't. I don't miss it. But what can you do? It's where I live. So, and my kitties, I'm sure, will be happy to see me. So now that I'm several minutes in, more than 10 minutes in, and I haven't even talked about the knitting, why don't I begin that, shall we? Knitting this week. Knitting this week is not going to look like a whole bunch to you because my wish shawl only got 2 rows, so you're really not going to see much in that. The sweater, which I showed you last week, was I'd made progress and I'd separated the sleeves. It's just a little bit longer now. What I've done is I've finished the bit that I have to do before I start the waist decreases. So it says to knit for 1.5 inches on my size, but I knit for 2 inches because I'm pretty tall and I want to extend the length of the sweater. So it's about 2 inches. And now I'm going to start the waist decreasing and then increasing, and then the body will be done. Yep. So that's that. And that is the Dairy Raglan in Cowl by, I believe, Melissa Labar from the book New England Knits, knit on a US. I have no idea. 7, 8, 7, 9. I can't remember. You have to look it up in my project notes. The other thing that I'm knitting is the second of the oh my gosh, what am I calling these? The Nimbus 2000 socks. This is a self-striping 50% superwash merino, 50% tencel base from 3U's Twisted in Fiber. The colorway is Nimbus 2000. I really like the colors in this yarn. I wish the yellow didn't bleed on my hands so bad, especially when you're doing the cast on and it's kind of fiddly and you're dealing with the increases and stuff. My fingers were very yellow when I was done, but it's not so bad. Like right now I'm in the yellow and it's not so bad because it's just straight knit, but the dye does rub off a little bit. I did this it's on 56 stitches, which based on the other sock is what I think I had because I didn't, of course, write it down. It's going to be a self-striping toe-up sock with an afterthought heel. I don't know if you can see the afterthought heel details. Right, it's right in between this yellow and gray. And the increase I did was knit 1, make 1, knit to the last stitch, make 1, knit 1, and then knit 3, make 1, knit to the last 3 stitches, make 1, knit 3, and then around even. So you increase 2 out of 3 2 out of 3 rounds instead of every other round. So you get a much rounder toe. Of course, I'm not wearing these socks just yet, but I really like the look of them. I think I like the rounder toe. So, and these are being knit on US 2.75 millimeter needles, which is the needle I use to knit all of my socks. And these needles are bamboo. It's a bamboo circular that I'm magic looping, I guess. And they're from KA. I really like the KA needles in the size 2. The size 4 that I'm using for the Cthulhu mittens sucks. So, different cables. So, size 2 cable is much thinner than the size 4 cable. Okay. Spinning. Haven't done any. Haven't had time. Drama sucked the life out of me last week, and I had no time to myself. And when I finally did on Sunday, I was too tired to move. But I did do this much dyeing. Not much dyeing, just a little bit. I really just dyed yesterday and Monday. So Monday and Tuesday were the only 2 days that I dyed this week. But I'm going to get a big jump start on it next Monday and work all the way through next week and hopefully dye up everything that I have left. I have a little bit of mixed BFL left, a little bit of Polwarth, quite a bit of sock yarn, the sugar maple. And then I have a box that I got about a month ago that I haven't opened yet. I believe there's more of that alpaca lace yarn that I did for the first round of the Trifecta Club. And I think silver maple sock yarn. There's no point in opening it until I'm ready to use it, so I guess we'll see what I have when I get there. Oh, and I still have almost a pound of silk too, so expect some more silk coming up because it will happen. This week's update will have what I'm about to show you. That will be this Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be a small update. I felt like there was something more I was going to tell you. It'll be a small update, but it will be a good one. After, what's tomorrow? The 15th? Ooh, the Ides of March. Not this week's update, but the next update, which will be on the 29th, I hope to have more Bouncing with Brody pre-orders. That'll be the 29th, hopefully, of March. I said I would do it in March again. I'm going to have fewer available this time. Last time I did 56. This time I'm going to do 44. We're going to make an even 1,000 for Brody and Mommy Needs Yarn's Walk for Autism Speaks. And then I'm going to retire that colorway, at least until next year when she does it again. So you still have a chance to get the Bouncing with Brody yarn. Do a little bit less, but I think there's still people who want to do it. So if there's people who still want it, I'm happy to still dye it. So okay, dyepots this week. I've started my spring lace dyeing. Oh, I do have more lace yarn to do too. What I have are 6 colors, one of which is a custom order, and so 5 will be available in the shop this week, and then hopefully at least another 6 will be available. 12 will be available. There'll be a lot more available next week. I can't do math tonight at all. So let me show you what I've got. The first colorway is the one that's there. One of these is a custom, so there will be one available in the shop. This is Courtland, and it looks a little more purple than it really is it looks more purple in the camera than it really is. It's much more of a, I mean, there is a little bit of magenta to it, but it's mostly red. You'll also see that there is some blue flecking in there. It looks much worse than it really is. When you knit this up, you almost can't see it. I mean, you got to remember that this is the black cherry lace, which is 100% superfine merino. There's 1,100 yards in this. That's a lot. And spaced out over 1,100 yards, you're really not going to see like this chunk of dark red and stuff like that. It looks significant only because it's packed in next to each other. So, actually, the big blob. There's the big blob. And there is just a little bit of flecking on that, but happens. All right, next up is Moss, which is one of my original lace colorways. It's not quite that bright a green. It's a little bit more subdued than that, just a little bit though. It's shades of sort of bright greens and almost like it's another shade of green that's a medium green, a Kelly green maybe. It's a little bit more on the blue side than the previous color. So you can see that right underneath my middle finger there's a little bit more of a blue section, and then underneath that is a little bit more of a yellowish green section. There is one place where it's not a blue fleck. It looks kind of like it. It's actually sort of a dark sprucey green right there. Not gonna lie. And, you know, like I said, this isn't such a huge deal when you're knitting it, but I like to be honest, at least in my practices. So this one does have a tiny bit of flecking in it, just that one spot that I can see. So there's that one that's, oh, geez, I moved the camera. What is wrong with me tonight? Stay. Why don't I put these somewhere else, huh? All right. Deal. And then this last colorway is bright pink. It is called Lady Slipper, which if you have ever seen a lady slipper, you'll know this is the kind of hot pink that they have inside their flowers. There is a little bit of flecking in this too. I think you can just barely see that hint of red right there. Very tiny, very, very much not a big deal. And there's one little spot right here, but when you're knitting it, it's not really noticeable. So that is a lady slipper. In fiber, all I have for you is 100% Corriedale Cross. Those of you who've been waiting for fiber for as beginners, if you want to try spinning the stuff, here's your shot. The first colorway is a new colorway. I've never dyed it before. I'm calling this Supermarket Bouquet. Reminds me of those bouquets of flowers that you see right beside the produce department. Hello? Right beside the produce department in grocery stores, that bright yellow. It's sort of a pinky magenta. There's a faded sort of plummy purple and a bright foliage type green, and then a golden yellow right there. And there were supposed to be little undyed areas in between, but the colors really blended quite well. So really all you can see is just a little, there's like a little bit of white in there in between the colors, just so they don't muddy and you get a broader variety of shades when you spin it up. So that one is Supermarket Bouquet. This one is one you've seen before. It is called Canopy, all sorts of shades of green. This is spot dyed, not space dyed, which means I took 3 bottles of green and I just squirted them all over the fiber with no rhyme or reason. I don't know how well you can see that it gives it a mottled look on the fiber, and it really creates a very subtle look when you spin the fiber. There was a little bit of flecking in this one as well. It's even less noticeable in the fiber, and that you can actually pull right out. I didn't want to make it look messy, so I didn't pull it out. I'm not trying to be dishonest here. I want you to see what I did. One that's similar, but is done in the same style of spot dyeing, but is a different colorway. It's one of my favorites, and I don't know why I haven't done it in a while. But this is called They're Not Brown, They're Hazel. Because my husband is always telling me that I have brown eyes, and I don't have brown eyes. I have hazel eyes. There's green in there. So this is shades of brown, which inside there fades to a lighter brown, a dark bronzy green, olivey green, and some lighter areas throughout. So they're not brown, they're hazel. And I have 3 of these. So 3 of those, 3 of those. That's also spot dyed. And then the final one, which is space dyed, just like the Supermarket Bouquet is this one. And you've seen this one recently. This is Roses in High Definition. Done out of Corriedale, it has a little bit of a different look than when you do it out of the Superwash Merino, but it still has the eye-searing yellow. There's a little bit of white undyed areas. A yellow-orange, a dark orange where it bleeds in with the pink, and then a hot, hot pink. Those colors are actually pretty accurate. This is a very bright colorway. Whoo boy bright, we call that. And I have 3 of these. So that's it for dye pots. I'm sorry it was so low this week, guys. I really wanted to have more done, but it just didn't happen. And excuse me. And I'm still trying to get my body caught up to what it was before drama. I'm working on it. Going to bed early a lot is helping. Okay, so we can review knitting dye pots. Growth. I don't have anything for growth. I haven't grown much lately. That's all I can say about that, really. Keep on keeping on. I think, by the time this airs, I will have sold out of my spindles. My husband planed down some boards, or jointed down jointed some boards tonight. I do not know when he'll have spindles again. It's going to be a wait of at least a few weeks. He'll keep me supplied with just a few here and there because he's in production right now for SSK and Fiber Frolic, both of which happen in June, which are Fiber Frolic is our biggest show where we sell a lot of spindles, and we have no idea really what SSK will bring, so we're trying to prepare for those. So that's growth. My husband's working on the spindles. Processes. A couple of weeks ago I said that I was going to talk to you about the type of shipping packaging that I use. I'm going to grab just one more thing and I'll be right back. Alright, very quickly I just wanted to go over the type of things that I use for shipping for those of you who might be looking for an efficient way to ship products. I used to use recycled boxes that I got from my old job at Rite Aid, and that worked quite well for a while. There were some limitations to that. The boxes, some of them were very heavy, which cost me more in shipping, and some of them had candles in them, which made them scented, which can cause problems. So I did decide within, I think, maybe 6 months of opening my business that I needed to buy shipping supplies. Conveniently, there are some items that are offered free. So let's start with the paid items first. Most of you, if you buy more than one thing from me, 1 to 3 things from me, you get this 10 by 13. It's a polypropylene envelope. This is from AssociatedBag.com. It is their own mailer. That's what it's called, our own mailers. And it's co-extruded polypropylene. It has a dark gray interior, a very pale gray, almost off-white outside. And this is the 10 by 13 size. It has a little strip, which I seal, and then I also tape with packing tape. I can get up to 3 braids of fiber or 3 skeins of yarn in that, or some combination of them. When I have just one item, or I should say when I have just one skein of yarn, I use this. This is the same thing. It's a polypropylene envelope, but this is the 6 by 9 size and just barely fits a skein of yarn. I have a lot of people who buy just a skein of yarn. The 10 by 13 costs $20 per 100. No. I apologize. The 10 by 13 costs $30 per 100. 30 cents a piece, that's not bad. Not counting how much it saves me in shipping. The 6 by 9 are only $19.99 or $20 per 100. And they save me a bunch from the boxes. They cost about the same as this, the bigger envelope, but they do cost me a lot less to purchase. So if I have just one item going out, like just one skein of yarn, sorry, I totally just hit my button there on my mouse. If I'm just sending one skein of yarn like this, I will send it in the little envelope. If I have 2, then I'll send it in the big one. These save me a lot of money on shipping because they are so light that I pay, basically I take the weight of my fiber, and with the bag that the fiber goes in, the packing slip that I write on, and the package, I'm only really adding an ounce to my finished price. So that's fantastic. Love it. Off there. Okay, so there's the envelopes. Now, I no longer purchase boxes for mailing because if it's so much that it has to go in a box, it's enough that it needs to go priority. If you go to the post office, you can send first class up to 4 pounds. However, if you use the online shipping service through PayPal and the USPS, sorry, weird noise, you can only go up to 13 ounces before you have to shift to priority. Now, could I take anything heavier to the post office and send it first class? Yeah. But quite frankly, I'd rather just get it all done. And if I pay a little bit more in shipping, oh well. So I have 3 different size boxes that I use for shipping. The first one is the most common one. And this box is the 7 by 7 by 6 box. It says it right there. 7 by 7 by 6. It's the O box or box number 4. Or you can go to the USPS website, usps.com, I believe, and you can look at priority mail, not the flat rate, but just priority mail shipping boxes that you can purchase, shipping supplies, and they will send you boxes of boxes. Each box of boxes has, I believe, 25 boxes in it, so if you order 1 quantity of 1, you're going to get 25 boxes. This is a good little box. It holds 4, maybe 5 items if I really squish them. Priority mailboxes available from the USPS are always free and they ship right to your house. You do pay more in shipping, but like I said, usually it's priority anyway. The next size that I get is the shoebox size. And you can see this one ended up not sending this way. So it, why are you not focused? So it's got stuff on it, but this is the shoebox sized box. It does not have the external dimensions written on it, but it does say that it is the shoebox. So if you want one that's this long, ask for the shoebox. This holds up to 8 items, generally speaking. And like I said, if I squish, I can do more. The third one is what they call the small mailing tube. Now, I don't know about you, but this doesn't look very small to me. It's because it's not. This is actually a triangular box. And on the one side, it has express mail. Don't use that side. It costs. Please be a ladybug and not some sort of giant evil demon bug. I have no idea what that was. It just flew up there. Let's hope it's a ladybug. Looked vaguely red. I don't know if it's ladybug or demonic, but whatever. Anyway, what was that? This is a triangular shaped box that you fold all up and you fold the ends in. It's considered a tube, but really it's a pyramid because tubes are round and pyramids are not. But anyway, this is what I used to ship my spindles. Now I was using the 7x7x6 box, but it's really difficult to get a spindle in that box because you have to lay it diagonal all the way across in order to get it to fit. And I'm really worried about putting the hook end against a corner because I don't want it to get damaged. If it gets dropped on an edge, it can ruin the hook. I'm worried about that. So I wrap the spindles in bubble wrap and I lay them inside here with additional bubble wrap to protect them. I also have room because the spindle only goes to about here in the box. I have plenty of room to include fiber or yarn or anything else that you may add. So if you get a box for me that looks like this, it's because you bought a spindle. This is also free. This just says it's a small mailing tube. It has no dimensions whatsoever. I can tell you that it is 6 by 5.5. Like, if this is the triangle, it's 6 by 5.5, and then the length is, I think, 26, maybe? It's quite long. It's about 2 feet long. I'm not really happy with this. I was really hoping for something smaller. I'm not going to lie. I may go back to the USPS website and see if there's anything else. Otherwise, I may have to buy something from Priority, from Associated Bag, because this seems to be a little bit bigger than I need. And if something is flopping around inside, that's just as bad as if it is too crowded. So all of those Priority mailboxes can be purchased from the United States Postal Service at no cost to you. So, especially if you're just starting out and you know you're going to be shipping Priority, consider the boxes because they do save you a lot on material cost. Excuse me. Before I get into grabby hands, I want to remind everybody to join the Highland Handmades Ravelry group. My podiversary is 2-year podiversary. My podcast will be 2 years old a month from tomorrow. A month from tomorrow on the 6th. Oh my God, read a calendar. A month from Friday. The 16th of April, 2010 was my first podcast. So, April the 10th of 2000. April the 16th of 2012 is my podiversary. Why is that so hard? God. So, in a month, which will be 2 podcasts from now, I will be doing a podiversary extravaganza of one sort. I'll be giving away gift certificates. I will be doing all sorts of stuff. So, because I'm a month away, I'm going to go ahead and open up the thread on the Highland Handmades Ravelry group. There's going to be a couple of threads. The first thread is going to be your favorite moment over the past 2 years. So what do you remember as being particularly entertaining the past 2 years? And feel free to read through that thread as you're going through, and you can either chime in and say, yes, I like that too, or you can think of something completely different. There will also be a thread for, I have to go watch my last podcast. I don't remember. One was for your favorite moment. Oh, one was, I'm not going to open a thread, but if you're a member of the group, you're going to be entered in to win, because if I can get 500 group members before that date. I'm going to check right now and see how many group members I have. And I have 482 members in the group, so I only need 18 more people to join before I can give away a 500th member prize. And that'll be anybody from person number 2, because I was number 1, all the way through however high we get. So I'm going to have several prizes, especially gift certificates. I may do a custom colorway. That would be kind of cool. Maybe I'll do that. I also have some other main goodies. I may send one person, if one winner, a bottle of Moxie, Maine's soda, and a whoopie pie, which is Maine's favorite dessert. These are whoopie pie stitch markers. I know, aren't they cute? That a friend of my mom's made. She has a business card, which I do not have. I will have to contact my mother to get that information. That's how you know I love you. But these are little whoopie pies, and they're super cute. They're very lightweight, and they have a really large closed loop. So that's got to fit at least up to 11, if not bigger. And I have, this is a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And each one has different colored gems at the top. So whoopie pie stitch markers will be a prize. I will have yarn and fiber as a prize. I will have Maine goodies as a prize. I wonder if I could get maybe a Highland Handmades t-shirt as a prize. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? You see how I'm doing all this like completely by the seat of my pants? I want to give you guys stuff as a thank you for sticking with me for the past 2 years, joining the group, buying my stuff. I really do appreciate you. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully another 2 years. So that's coming right up. Now, grab your hands. I'm not going to show it to you again, but last podcast I talked about Plays Well with Colors. The fiber that I'm spinning up from my friend Andrea, who's Play Well with Colors, plays, PLAYSWELLWITHCOLORS, playswellwithcolors.etsy.com. And she has done an update recently since I last podcasted. So go over to playswellwithcolors.etsy.com and check out Andrea's stuff and tell her I sent you, and go buy something. She's got this new yarn colorway called Kimber's a Rockstar. It's black, hot pink. Oh my god, so amazing. I want it so bad. I'm not buying yarn right now. Nope, nope, nope. Not until after I photographed and organized my stash. Yep. I guess, guys, that's all I have this week. I have no idea how long this is because I've had to clip some stuff, and I'm going to still have to clip other stuff, and my camera's quit on me, and we'll see how it goes. But I hope you had a great week. I hope your week was less crazy than mine last week, and I hope you're resting and recuperating. And as always, happy spinning and knitting, and thanks for tuning in.